Welcome to another Saturday Morning Nerd Out. We are in episode 2 of season 2. And I gotta say, this is my first time seeing these new intros for our shows and epic stuff and epic saxophone playing for unpopular opinion. But I am Graveyard, and without further ado, the person who created all these fantastic intros, the one and only Mezzo.
Hi. I do apologize. So usually I don't eat on stream whatsoever, but Mezzo here was up till 2 a.m. getting her nerd out segment ready, and I forgot that I had promised my kids and that I'd make chocolate chip pancakes. So I woke up, I didn't even get out of my bed till 9 a.m., which is an hour before showtime, and I rushed to put on something, get downstairs, make pancakes, didn't have pancake mix, realized, oh no, then I found one, but okay, good, I'll just make it with this. And I literally have pancake batter on my sweatshirt where the pocket is. But I wasn't going to deprive myself of my chocolate chip pancakes while they were somewhat warm.
Mm-hmm.
So I have my coffee, milk, and my pancakes here at my desk. And I will mute myself when I'm taking bites or something.
But I mean,
anyway,
it sounds like
morning.
Sounds like you're up pretty late, and we might have something just for you, just for that.
Oh, did we?
Yes, we have Dubby. So whether you're just waking up for the nerd out, stay up late gaming with us, stuck in your alcove for hours at a time, or tired from all your Saber fights, our sponsor is just for you. Dubby has no calories, no sugar, no artificial colors or dyes. Each serving has 150 milligrams of caffeine, which is equivalent to 2 cups of coffee. And because it contains neurofactor derived from the fruit of the coffee bean, it gives you all the focus and energy with none of the jitters. So, to help support us and get 10% off of Dubby, go to www.dubby.gg and use code KCP2023 to get 10% off. So thank you, Dubby, for that.
Ooh, thank you, Dubby.
Will we get a new code for 2024?
No. I guess I could change it, but it was I just started to do it. I decided to do it the year we started having Dubby is what my purpose of it was.
Sweet. We should almost do KCP Saber.
Ooh. Ooh. Alrighty.
All right. Well, we have a pretty decent lineup for today. We had some time off, and we are doing some catch up and stuff like that, and stuff that we didn't have a chance to talk about yet, and new news. If we have time.
Oh,
we'll have time. I created a special overlay just for that.
Ew.
So
I'll wait. But I can't wait to see it.
No. So since it's just you and I right now, you're gonna have to, help with the adjectives, adverbs, and stuff like that too, as well. So maybe
I'm pretty good at blocking out what the rest of it are. I just focus on where the blanks are, and then I don't know it until I read it.
I mean, if anything, what we should do, if it's just two of us doing it, we should create a list of the items and we just fill it in, and we just put it in where they go too. So it says, need 3 adjectives, then we'll just make 3 adjectives as well. So, but without further ado, I am excited for this first topic. I don't know anyone has had a chance to hear the news about Ryan Coogler and his X-Files reboot.
Okay, so I have a few thoughts. Now, I haven't seen the entire original X-Files series, and I know this is kind of a weird. But I've seen 5 seasons and the movie that they had a while back, and so I feel like I got a good feel for the series in general. And whenever someone takes on something that was beloved the way it was, there's always that hesitation and apprehension of you're scared it's gonna suck. I mean, I like Ryan Coogler. I love Black Panther, and that's what he did and stuff. And so I'm hoping it's done well. I mean, it's just it's just like this. You just sit here okay, I hope it's going to be done well. If it's a reboot, then my brain goes, well, I love Dave Duchovny and Gillian Anderson as the characters they were. I almost kind of wish it was more the same universe, but different characters kind of
revival.
Yeah, like a revival instead of a just complete reboot, because you know, but I have, you know, it's not rare on occasion, but I've seen where reboots like are done well and you still like the characters in a different sense though. So it's just you have to gosh, it's hard to not want to just downplay it right away and be like, it's gonna suck, you know, because
Right.
so I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. I feel like I need to finish the original X first. So that's it.
Yeah. So anyone that knows me and has seen my sci-fi tattoo, like I do have the UFO from I Want to Believe poster from X-Files on it. I am an absolute avid X-Files fan. I watch it all the time. I remember growing up that my parents were afraid I was going to be afraid of it. So they're like, oh, you can't watch it. And they happened to be at church. And I came home because it was on Sunday nights on Fox. And I was watching it. And it was about Queequeg, which, you know, from, you know, Moby Dick. It was the name of the dog. And it was about alligators and a lake monster. And they started watching it not knowing what it was. And they realized with X-Files, like, oh, this is a pretty good show. So it became our family routine on Sundays after they forced me to go to church to watch X-Files.
I like how you said forced.
Yes, forced. And I'm like I said, I'm a absolute avid fan of X-Files. I think they did Monsters of the Week perfectly. I think they took that formula and perfected it. That was, you know, yes, Star Trek helped pioneer that stuff, but X-Files really cemented it to the Monster Week that helped create the Buffy series to the way it was as well. So it became that sci-fi quintessential show that sci-fi was cool and interesting and stuff like that. Now that being said, am I concerned people are going to be comparing it to Mulder and Scully? Absolutely.
It's a natural thing to do.
Right. And that's why I don't want it to reboot. I don't want Mulder and Scully to be recast as Mulder and Scully. There is plenty of FBI offices. There's plenty of news stories. And it could just be the next team investigating the X-Files. Because if if Ryan Coogler goes, I'm making Mulder and Scully again, that's going to get shot down so fast, so hard. And that's my major concern about that, is you're going to be comparing it to Mulder and Scully. So create new agents to do it is what I think should be done.
Okay, yeah. I think, see, that's kind of like how I was feeling, a revival of like something in the same age. And if there are people who are old characters that people remember that come back for an episode, kind of like a Doctor Who does and stuff like that, they bring back old companions or old doctors sometimes, like for a part of the story, then I think that would be fine. But I would prefer as an audience member to have different characters as the main characters. So yeah, I guess, I mean, we both have kind of similar thoughts about that, I guess, because whenever something's rebooted instead of like a revival with different characters, you're automatically going to think about comparing. That's just natural to do. Oh my gosh, my hair.
Right. Yeah. And when David Duchovny left the show at like season 8, they brought in two new agents. Robert Patrick was one, you know, the T-1000 from Terminator 2.
Oh gosh, I remember him.
And then they also brought in another Annabeth Gish.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, she's been in a lot of stuff. She was in like a lot of Mike Flanagan stuff like Midnight Mass and stuff like that. So she's a, you know, sci-fi horror name as well. And they kind of replaced Mulder and Scully. And did it do as well? No, but Scully was still kind of there and stuff like that. So they proved they can do different agents with the same thing.
Yeah. So like, I mean, just two different agents doing the same kind of job is that's fine. Yeah. I'm just concerned about like rebooting completely new character, like the same characters with new people. Then they'll play them differently and stuff. So we'll see how it is when it comes out.
Yeah, like I said, Mitch Pigelli, who played, you know, Agent Skinner, absolutely could come back as the same character. They can have the same people.
Yes.
So
that's the same feeling to have like characters that come back as themselves is one thing, but like if you try to recast Mulder and Scully as two different actors, it's gonna feel weird.
Now I think they could have Scully or you know, Mulder be the director of FBI.
That would be cool. Or like instructors in the X-Files department.
Mm-hmm.
And because of how well they did on like investigating that it's grown some, it's not just like this one agent and this medical examiner, that it's grown to be like a group.
Yeah. I'm excited.
Yeah. That'd be fun.
I'm excited.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah.
Yes. But speaking of kind of aliens and creatures and stuff like that, we have the Mando and Grogu show, aka the Mandalorian and Grogu movie, been announced. With it's Favreau, right? Doing it.
Filoni.
It's Filoni? I thought it was Favreau.
I looked at the article I sent. Maybe it was just Filoni's quotes that I read then instead of like specifically Favreau doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, I like both of them. So
yeah. So I mean, how do you feel about this Mando and Grogu movie?
I love the characters. I just hope the storyline holds up like a movie plot versus a TV shows, because you can't put a TV show plot straight into a movie. That's why TV shows are longer than a movie, right? Than one single movie. So I'm hoping it's just that the that, and then like I kind of hope they send some kind of guide on like what people, if they need to watch anything specific other than The Mandalorian to be able to be in like the one season of Boba Fett, to be caught up on like what Mando and Grogu have gone through. So like, do you need to watch all the Star Wars things to know what happens in this movie or something like that, you know, to understand? I mean, I haven't seen any of the animated series, and I apologize. This was both, I've said it a couple of times, but it was before I had joined the new Rockstar server when that was in existence. I had never heard of the term canon before. Like, I just thought the movies were interesting and like stuff like that, but I didn't realize. So I thought that like Star Wars animated shows were just like kids' TV shows, that there wasn't like everything connected.
Right.
So I never got a chance to see them. And then, I mean, for example, Doctor Who, the modern Doctor, so it's a very long running show, just like some of the animated ones. And it took us over a year to like have the time to get through Doctor Who. And so I'm like, just to think about taking on another long show, that I'm like, yeah. So I haven't had, unfortunately, the time or place to do it. So
yeah, I just looked up. It is being directed by Favreau. Okay. It's being produced by Favreau, Filoni, and Kathleen Kennedy. I see, because Filoni is still doing his own thing, which is going to be the amalgamation of all his characters. So I think that's his Star Wars movie, and then Favreau is in charge of the Mando and Grogu movie. So I think we have a couple movies then from this time period being produced. You know, do I really need a Mando and Grogu movie? That remains to be seen.
It's going to be that thing that when you see it, you're going to be like, this is something I didn't know I needed. But right. I mean, I love Pedro Pascal, but I know that because of his schedule and stuff, he's not always the person physically acting out the character.
Right.
And I can't remember, I knew who it was, and it was like the grandson of somebody and famous, and who was an actor, and I can't remember who, John Wayne, I think, or something. Like his grandkid is like playing the physical role. Yeah. I say grandkid, but he's like an adult.
Right.
I said, oh, look at that kid, and that person's 3 years younger than I am, and that's just because I feel old. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see. Yeah. I just want the storyline to hold up.
Yeah, I completely agree. You know, this may be the time to cast a younger Luke Skywalker permanently. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to see it. It's interesting, and I hope this is probably going to be like almost the prequel to Filoni's. Then, you know, his between episodes 6 and 7 universe that he's been building out. So, we'll see.
All right, we'll see.
But speaking of canon, and you learning about canon.
Yeah, I did not know this until you put that as the title, and I had to go look it up because I've been kind of like, so if you don't know, I've been working a lot behind the scenes on some editing stuff for shows coming up, and I took like 2 days off of anything that I didn't have to have done because I'm tired. And so I was also not really online a ton for the news stuff. And I was like, whoa, wait, what? And so I went and I was like, okay, so it's technically they just adopted any of the Netflix like MCU shows into canon. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's fine. It felt kind of strange because the Daredevil and She-Hulk didn't feel like the same Daredevil from the originals, from his original show. So I'm kind of like, okay, that kind of felt kind of funky. That felt like the PG-13 of Daredevil versus like the rated R one that a lot of people loved. That's I think, excuse me, that was one reason they didn't like his cameo, is because a lot of people prefer the nitty gritty, because it is Daredevil is a nitty gritty character.
Yeah.
So changing him into this like, oh, like it kind of felt like a college kid. It was kind of odd. So interesting that they've adopted all the shows, because the MCU, the Marvel Netflix stuff was a little bit more of that nitty gritty, which I enjoyed, because the movies have always been, yes, they have been harder, but not nitty, like a bit more emotional lately, but not nitty gritty really. So like the first Marvel show, like that wasn't Netflix, that felt nittier and grittier, I guess you can say, was Captain Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
That was like the first like nittier, grittier version of like a Marvel show that I had seen the entire time. And so I was like, oh, maybe they are going to lean towards that a little bit. And then I actually watched the first episode, half the first episode of Echo last night. Didn't get to finish it because our child wanted to play hide and seek. And that turned into like an hour of hide and seek silliness. But it was, it's definitely not holding back that much on the nitty gritty there either. So it's nice to see, as long as you make sure, if you don't want your kids to see the nittier grittier stuff, that you check it out first. But I'm excited about it, and I love that you have the Avengers A.
Oh, it's the Avengers text. Anything Marvel is using the Avengers font that I have for it.
Gotcha. And I have a little question mark is like the tiniest question mark.
Apparently, there's no question mark in the Avengers font. So, so I mean, this is interesting with Echo and everything like that. Now, you talk about She-Hulk, stuff like that. Now, when Daredevil had the fight scene in She-Hulk, that felt just like the Netflix Daredevil at that point in time. His fighting was hands down.
It was, I was so excited when because I did watch up to that point. It's a little bit after that point, and I was just so excited. I was like, gosh, it's Charlie.
Yeah.
No, I said, oh, Matt. I said. But I'm like, and it's weird though, because as seeing the experience, not being an experience, but seeing the experience a lot of people who are deaf go through, even though she can carry her own, I like fear for her, because she has not had an easy life. And when you walk into a situation where you can't hear and people are talking to you, and it's harder to read lips in that stressful situation, all that kind of stuff. I just like was rooting. You root for her, even though she's doing all these terrible things. You can also, as a human, because she's a human, understand why. Anyway, I'm getting into like Echo stuff. But I'm not going to go dive into Echo. So,
well, I mean, this is Echo relay, because Echo's confirmed that the Netflix MCU canon.
Yeah, I mean that's true. I think that when it comes to Echo, the opening scene is what confused me, I guess. Right. When it comes to relation to actual Echo and her heritage, how that whole part is related to it. If it was just a story, or if it's because a lot of legends and myths come from some sort of truth. What's that going to play in later? I don't know, because I have not watched the whole series. So we'll see. But that was the part I found interesting, even though that has nothing to do with the specifically canon part.
Yeah, but I had made predictions, and I don't think it's come true. I was hoping that Jessica Jones would show up or be mentioned, because if we're saying this is canon, we already say this is the Matt Murdock from the Netflix MCU. We saying this is the Fisk from Netflix MCU, which means we have the potential to have Bullseye, with Daredevil Reborn. We have the potential because, John Barenthal is confirmed back being the Punisher. So that means the Punisher is going to be part of the canon as well, which means we could get Defenders. We could see Jessica as the Immortal Iron Fist come back. I'd love for her to come back from Iron Fist with where it was left off.
David Tennant was so good in her show.
Yeah.
I was like, I hate seeing him as a bad guy, but I love it at the same time. He's so good at it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I'm excited to see where this goes. If with Marvel Spotlight taking the nitty and gritty, and and we just also got confirmation today that Foggy Nelson and Deborah Ann Wool are back for Daredevil Reborn, which means it's even more cemented.
That makes me happy. I love the actor who plays Foggy. I've loved him since She's All That.
I mean, idle hands for me.
So I have a question. Since I've only seen half of the first episode of Echo, is there I'm guessing there's something in the show that references from the original series, and that's what makes it canon or something. And so that it makes me wonder on future shows that they might bring back, or other characters, they're going to make references from those shows. So that there's even more tie-in now, kind of a thing.
Yeah. I think that is going to be the case, because Matt Murdock's costume is from the Netflix MCU. It's not the one that was created for him in She-Hulk.
Okay.
It's not the ketchup and mustard one.
Yeah.
So he
makes me want a burger every time.
Exactly. So yeah, I'm excited. So I can't wait. But speaking of stuff that was canceled and stuff like that, I don't know if you ever watched the show. Our Flag.
I've never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Now, are you interested in watching it? Because
I have no idea what it's about. That's the one topic I didn't get to look at this morning, because I suddenly remembered I had chocolate chip pancakes to make.
So it's made by Taika Waititi, and it is loosely based on a true story.
Is Reese Darby in it?
Yeah.
Okay, they always work together, but I think I remember some kind of ship show thing.
And
Hordor. Oh, Hordor.
Hordor's in
Hordor.
Yeah. So unfortunately, 2 seasons of this came out and it was canceled.
That makes me sad. I didn't get to see it, but my brain just didn't clock the name of it when I saw the ad for it. But
yeah, so like I said, it's loosely based on a rich guy who decided to become a pirate. And Waititi plays Blackbeard. And it's an astounding show. It's a motley crew of people that are trying to be pirates, led by Reese Darby, who doesn't know anything about being a pirate. He has like a full-on library. He plays the rich guy? Yeah. Okay. He has a full-on library in his
Reese Darby, I've loved you since Fly of the Conchords.
Yeah. So this is an interesting show because it's essentially gay pirates.
This sounds like a musical.
It is absolutely astounding. I love season 1. I'm in the process of watching season 2, and then it got canceled. So it is an astounding show. There's lots of cameos in it from anyone that knows Waititi and all his work. And it has the Waititi flair and just dry humor.
It's like signature flair.
Yeah. And I think this is an unfortunate cancellation, because I think season 1, everybody was talking about it. Like I saw it.
Yeah, you saw it come out. It's like everyone was excited about it, but then like season 2, it's like almost people forgot it was happening, and maybe the marketing for season 2 wasn't there.
Yeah, I think COVID had a big part of it that was just delaying. People kind of forgot about it. But like I said, if you like Waititi, you like Reese Darby, and you want to see him play an aristocratic pirate, it's absolutely hysterical, because he is as awkward as he is trying to lead a band of pirates. So just imagine that. I mean, that premise alone should be like, I need to watch this.
That's great. I maybe even though it's canceled, we're probably get a chance to watch it at one point soon. For those watching, or even an upload, what can you watch it on?
I believe it's on HBO Max.
Okay, we have that. Thankfully.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that if someone is interested, that they know where they can watch it.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's, for being a show about gay pirates, it's hysterical, it's sweet, it's just crazy at times.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, you'll see a lot of cameos when you know what TD, and just him playing Blackbeard, playing the biggest, toughest pirate in the world is just hysterical. Because he's Watiti. I mean,
he's not. I mean, I just when I hear Watiti, I just think of like, I don't know, like other characters he's played. I don't think of like, arg.
Right. But you think of him as
so it makes it silly, funny, but like not piratey. But that's even funnier to think about.
Yeah, because he always plays kind of the gentle weirdo, especially in What We Do in the Shadows.
Which I haven't seen. It's on my list.
The movie or the TV show?
Both.
You need to watch it. And then
I'm getting scolded. I can hear Graveyard in his head. I can hear him scolding me for not seeing those yet.
Also the spinoff. Also the spinoff Wellington Paranormal.
Yeah. Okay. He's gonna say I can hear Graveyard saying my full name. Mezzo JD.
Yes. But like I said, so anyone
those who don't know, JD's at the end.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, just make sure to watch this show and just give support, because it is Waititi and it is his dry humor and it is absolutely perfect.
Gotta get that Kiwi humor.
Oh, hands down, Kiwi humor is fantastic. I love every aspect of this show. But speaking of things that are, a little crazy, if you will, a little mad.
Madison VR. I think of this as a segue.
No, we are all a little mad.
Oh, we're a little mad here. Oh my gosh, I'm an idiot. Okay.
So
this is why I brought coffee, because I'm not caffeinated.
I thought this would be an appropriate title for the segment. So, are we ready to do our Mad Libs?
Yeah. All right. So let's go through all the adjectives first. We'll just go back and forth. So you go first.
Okay.
Tell me an adjective.
An adjective.
Yes.
An adjective. Hairy.
I just dropped my pen. Okay, and we're gonna do all the adjectives first. So my next one is slimy.
Ooh.
Okay, let's see. That was the only two adjectives. Wait, one more. So you give me one more.
Let's see here. Deceptively.
Mm.
Is it too big of a word?
I think it's deceptive is what it's going for.
Okay.
When I kind of glance at the sentence. All right. So there's a couple that are interesting as if you're in a group of people. So it says person in the room, a male. So just gonna stick you down.
All right.
It says another male in the room. I'm gonna use my husband. No, I'm gonna use my husband. He's not in the room, but it was like let's just use Van.
There you go. Van.
All right. Person in the room, male. Again. We're gonna use do.
Oh, you can use.
Oh, wait, Balaam. All right. If there's another one, I'll put in should do.
Yes.
Oh, person in the room, female. That will be me. And person in the room, male, should do. All right.
There you go.
Next, we need a celebrity. There's only one of these, so.
A celebrity?
Yes.
Let's do what.
Oh wait, celebrity the other one that was the one that said that was female in the room was celebrity female. I am not a celebrity.
Yes, you are.
Right. You said iced tea.
What TD?
Oh, what's TD? And then I'll put in Reese Darby. Wait, no, that's not female. Sorry. I'm gonna put in Karen Gillan.
There you go.
I love her. Her TikToks are hilarious. She and the character who played River Song from Doctor Who went Christmas shopping together, and they're like, "We're Christmas shopping!" Like they're gonna make a whole video about it, and then it cuts to her going, "I was too tired and forgot to shop. I forgot to record everything. This is me in bed. Okay, this is the video. Bye." All right. Let's see. Now adverb.
Adverb.
Yes, sir.
I always forget what adverb really means.
ly.
Ly.
Like you're beautifully. Like deceptively would have technically been an adverb.
Yeah. Let's go with kindly.
Aww. Okay, and then I know there's another one on here. And I'm gonna say trying to think of like the adverb version of this word. Is mesmerizingly a word?
You can do like hypnotically.
I like that. Okay, and then now a plural noun from you, sir. We'll just do all the nouns whether plural or not. So this one's a plural noun.
A plural noun. Monsters.
Okay, and then I'm gonna put in beard, and then another noun from you.
Just a singular noun.
Yes, all the rest of the nouns are singular. So,
weenus.
and then I'm gonna put down candle. And another noun.
Another noun.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with chest. Like treasure chest.
Okay, and then this is also a back and forth between different characters, so I'll try to do voices even. It's gonna be terrible and lovely at the same time. All right, another noun, pencil. Okay, one more noun from you, and then I have one more last noun.
Also noun.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go with toe.
Let's do a non-part of the body.
A non-part of the body?
There is one in here that's part of the body, like a part of the body. So I think they discern those differently in the game.
Okay. Let's go with bowl.
Like a bowl you eat out of?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'm gonna do a cup. All right, so next we only have 2 spaces left, so give me a verb ending in ing.
A verb ending in ing?
Yes.
Mr.
Larson.
Yes. And then ing. Let's go with knowing.
Okay. And then I have, the last one is part of the body. I'm going to say, just for you, toe.
Okay.
All right. So, who's ready? A review of the hairy main characters in the slimy saga Star Wars. Darth Vader says, aka Anakin Skywalker. Father of, this is not scripts, never mind. It's just pointing out characters, I guess. Father of Graveyard Skywalker and Princess Leia Organa. Apprentice to Van. And Emperor Watiti kindly married. And Emperor Watiti kindly married Padme Amidala. Obi-Wan Kenobi, also known as Old Salem, Jedi Master to the deceptive Jedi monsters, Anakin and Luke Skywalker. Luke Skywalker, son of Darth... Hi, Aubrey. Sorry, I'm not there, but I'm here to support. All good, hun. Don't worry. Luke Skywalker, son of Darth Weenus. Kind of reminds me of Dooku because that's kind of like, it just sounds like a funny word. And Princess Karen Gillan, after many years of knowing, became a Jedi beard like his father. Princess Leia Organa, the twin candle of Luke Chestwalker, hypnotically in love with Shadow Solo. Han Solo, first pencil of the Millennium Bowl. This space cow cup has a toe of gold, even though he tries hard to hide it in his boots, I guess.
There you go. Well, thank
that
you,
is your
Mezzo.
Mad Libs for Saturday Morning Nerd Out.
Yes, remember, we are all little men here. All right, but we have to talk about other scary things here because we need to do this. I said need to set up my VR. I pre-ordered this already.
Oh, did you see? I watched the trailer. It was the longest trailer I think I've ever seen. So if you're curious about Madison, I watched the original gameplay from Scary Game Squad on Jesse Cox's channel, and it was trippy. And but it was quite a while ago that I watched it, but it was definitely trippy. And my first thought was, why would anyone want to do this to themselves? But okay. It's definitely freaky. And the trailer itself kind of gives you the not the opening, but like it gives you a good feel of what it's going to be like, and it's about 7 minutes long. It gives you a really good indicator of how the game's going to go. And I'm excited to watch someone else play it. But yeah, that's how I'm excited for that one. Yeah. I'm also excited for 7th Guest VR, but
I have to figure out how to put my glasses on in the VR headset just so I can see properly.
Wait, do you wear glasses? Do you wear glasses? I did not know this.
You see me wear them once on one episode of Last of Us.
Gosh, and that was a long time ago.
It was. I've only had them for a year.
I'm so used to seeing like your image, that your logo that's behind you of like the advertisement is Salem wearing the glasses and not you. So like that's what my brain thinks.
No, it's just when I'm tired, my eyes get really strained, so I have to wear them. That's about it. Though.
That makes sense. I mean, gosh, if Mezzo here is just legally blind, so if she takes off her glasses, I cannot see the people on the screen in front of me at all, or any of the words, or anything.
Yeah, I'm getting old, so that's all it really is. But no, like I said, I have to be able to focus because with that, the VR with this is really straining on my eyes.
Yeah.
So I was getting nauseous. I think it's just because I needed the glasses and I need to figure that out. So we are going to figure this out because essentially I'm not going to be able to see anything other than the game when I play this. So.
Yes.
So, this is going to be a Mezzo-driven stream with me figuring this out.
Me kind of introducing comments that he needs to address if needed, kind of thing. So we'll just explain that at the beginning of the stream too.
Yeah. So
I love you, Aubrey.
Yes. So let us know in the comments below, if you want to see us do this live, if you want to do a pre-record would probably be a little bit easier. But I'm also going to have to get wireless headset just so I can sit back. So because I have to be able to hear you and the game.
Yep. That's a little bit difficult. Anytime I've ever seen someone do VR, it's usually just by themselves. And so we'll have to do some tech stuff for that for sure. But let's move on.
So I mean but I mean I think VR is coming gangbusters forward, and I think horror is the perfect medium for this. I know we discussed this before.
The immersion of VR with horror is like a nice marriage.
Yeah, and we discussed this before. Like the old point and click games would be amazing. Can you imagine? Can you imagine when we do the Myst games? If we do that in VR,
that would be cool.
I think
those rely on atmosphere so much, and so that would be like that immersion into that atmosphere would be really cool.
Yeah, so I think Madison VR looks amazing. I think VR is going gangbusters. So horror and point and click is the way to go for VR.
I agree.
So.
I wish I didn't get motion sick with VR because I would probably play it more. But after when we have 2 Oculuses, MetaQuest 2s or whatever. And I wish that I didn't get motion sick because the first thing I tried to was something that was very not the best idea. You can take a free tour of the International Space Station via VR. Like you're floating around, and I get car sick. I didn't realize that this would be so bad too. So like I'd be sitting there, and then I'd start to fall over, and I'd feel awful. So I just don't put it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, like I said, I if they ever do a Mist VR, I'd love for you to be able to do it and not get motion sick. So, because you are,
if it's something like Beat Saber where you don't move around, that would usually be okay. Because I can play it. I mean, I don't usually play it because it's not necessarily a game I enjoy, but it's something that I could not move, have to walk around like my character doesn't move.
Right. But yeah. So let us know. We'll continue. We'll figure this out. We'll do some testing, and Madison VR is definitely going to be on the list. Obviously not a Retro Alcove because this is a new game.
That is not a retro game. Far from.
No, so it'll just be a gaming stream or gaming upload in the future. We may have to do an entire VR series at some point. So, but speaking of scary, spoopy things. I hope you watched this trailer.
I posted the link to it in our Facebook chat, so anyone else who might have been on would see it too. It looks hilarious. To me, I'm not sure if someone else who doesn't normally watch horror would find it as funny, but it felt very comical. It felt it's like when Evil Dead had humor into it. This feels like there's just humor into the horror. And it looked just like a fun, silly night with your friends that you sit down together and watch this movie and you just laugh your butt off. Like that's just and give me some popcorn and like this is that kind of movie to me. The feeling I get from it, at least.
Now, you know who the main guy is?
No, absolutely not.
Jonah Ray. He's a comedian. He is one of the new hosts of Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Okay, well, I know the original MST3K.
Yeah, so he's in the reboot. He's a comedian that does stuff like that. So I think it looks amazing. I think it looks like a cheesy good time. It very feels like almost Tucker and Dale versus Evil meets Evil Dead. And
that's why I mentioned Evil Dead because we both had that same kind of thought then.
Yeah,
I'm not so far off.
No, you're not. And like I said, it looks like a really good time. Like I said, it doesn't seem to take itself very seriously.
No. If it took itself seriously, it would be very Twilight-esque. In that sense. Like Twilight, okay. For those of you who haven't seen it because you're like, oh, it's a terrible movie, just don't take it seriously and think of it as a comedy and then you'll enjoy it.
Yeah. So, I think this is going to be a fantastic movie. It looks like just a stupid, mind-numbingly good time.
Yep. That's exactly what it looks like. And I'm looking forward to seeing it when it comes out.
Yeah, because I think this going to be that mesh of horror and comedy that is really hard to pull off in a lot of things. Because
it's like Happy Death Day and stuff like that, where there's that marriage again between like humor and like there's VR and horror, and then there's horror and comedy. Like there's a certain type of premarital counseling of the writing that they have to go through in a sense.
Yeah, and it looks like it's not going to take itself too seriously, which is always great. I like the fact that we are seeing more movies like this that, because everyone thinks horror has to be serious all the time. And, in the 80s, we think these movies are cheesy, and they were taking themselves seriously. They weren't trying to be cheesy for the sake of being cheesy. You know what I mean? This isn't also like the Sharknado territory where it's trying to be so meta and being so bad and being like, hey, look how bad we are, which kind of just ruins the motif that what makes it a really bad movie is it's trying to be tongue-in-cheek and say, look at us, haha, we're so clever. So
yes, exactly.
Now, is this something you're going to see, Mezzo, when it comes out?
Oh gosh, I'm not sure. Like, I didn't get a chance to see Cocaine Bear, and we don't get to go to movies soon. Like, we go pretty often compared to a lot of people, but we don't get to go see every single movie we want to see when it comes out. So I'm not sure.
I think this is going to be on Shudder. I think this is going to be on Shudder.
I don't have Shudder. I don't watch a whole. You know what's funny is I enjoy horror, right? Mm-hmm. And my husband will watch some horror stuff, and he's not like a huge fan of it. So like Smile, I watched by myself at my sister's in her guest room, her babe cave as she calls it. Yeah. And then I might end up watching just this one alone as well. Actually, it'd be less scary in a theater than I feel like at home, because in a theater you're in this huge public place that you know is not like anything, but at home it feels like a little too close to home kind of a feeling. But we'll see. I mean, since it's on Shudder, it's hard because I don't watch horror enough to feel like I can justify a subscription to Shudder, I guess. To Shudder on Scener.
Well, I mean, this is going to go on to the long list of movies that we need to watch as horror movies.
That's true. I still have to see all of the Halloweens, all the Nightmare Before Christmas, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Freddy Krueger's. I haven't seen any of those.
I think Destroy All Neighbors would be, once we can do it, if we can do, the was it Singer together, that we should be able to watch and record our reactions. I think
and then we could show just our reaction and like a caption showing kind of what we were reacting to without too many big spoilers.
Yeah, so I think because I know, Aubrey is a horror fan too, and I'd love to see Fray's reaction to this as well.
Fray. I love you, Fray. Your reactions are great. Like, it's never a make fun of reactions. I enjoy your reactions because I don't feel the same about horror. My reactions are pretty chill, I think, in comparison. But the parts in movies and stuff that get me is anything I'm emotionally invested in. And I know this is kind of off tangent, but like Doctor Who.
Right.
Okay. My husband and I just pretty much completely caught up on the modern day doctors. And one doctor, for those who, I don't know if anyone wants, these are all things in the press that pretty much everyone knows, that David Tennant came back for a special. Mm-hmm. And so Jodie Whittaker, it was the doctor we were on. And I thought there was a doctor between her and David Tennant. And I told my husband, I was like, I don't know who she regenerates into. He's like, oh, okay. Well, he had already seen her final scene, so he knew that she regenerates into David Tennant. And those who have followed Doctor Who know this all already. So, but I was purposefully avoiding any kind of spoilers, and I was like, I don't know. So he watched my reaction the entire scene because he had already seen the scene. He got it spoiled for him. So he watched my reaction, and I literally I'm such a crybaby. Okay, everyone, Mezzo's a crybaby. I bawl when I know, because I knew it was her last episode. So when she's regenerating, I'm bawling my eyes out whenever an actor has their last scene because I'm gonna miss them and the way they played the character. And I started bawling, and then when she regenerated and David Tennant, I was like, he said my unfiltered raw emotion was just completely just worth it, and how probably it was meant to feel, because that's why I don't like spoilers and or diving too deep into history of some Marvel characters or whatever comic book characters anyway, is because I like to have the reaction that writers mean for someone to have. Mm-hmm. I like to experience that. And so I was I bawled for about 20 minutes in general, to try to therapeutically calm down. And I went from like incredibly sad to incredibly happy in a span of like 5 seconds. It was hilarious. But yeah, so Fray's reactions are like how I feel how I feel about her reactions are like how probably when someone would feel about watching me get emotionally invested in something. So
yeah, we'll make this happen.
I was just trying to let you know.
Oh, no worries. Oh, we'll make this happen. So
sounds good.
All right. Well, without further ado, I believe it's time for the nerd out of Mezzo's Musings.
Gosh, it's time. All right, so y'all, I went hardcore and I made a PowerPoint presentation.
Ooh.
So, what are your thoughts on subtitled movies?
I enjoy them when I'm really want to pay attention. Sometimes it's not background. Subtitled movies are not background noise. They can't.
Yeah, you can't. You have to watch them. You can't like be cleaning while you're having one on unless you've already seen it and paid attention and just enjoy the movie in general, kind of a thing.
Right.
So I know that reading something while you watch can be a bit annoying. I have a cousin who went to see the movie Godzilla -1 with her family and did not know it was subtitled. And when she got there, she goes, "You mean I have to read?" And a lot of people's like reasoning for watching a movie or TV show is so they don't have to like read a book or something. But I believe me, I'm telling you that you're missing out on some amazing pieces of art. Yeah, Aubrey, I knew you would love them. And this is the case with Godzilla -1. Okay. Writer and director Takashi Yamazaki, okay, has created a masterpiece of storytelling, VFX, and homages to the original Godzilla movie. Godzilla has always been a horror movie in the sense with some action. And this one really takes the cake, putting in terror, action, emotion, and beautifully woven into an entertainment basket. I like that metaphor. I was proud of that one. I've watched many Godzilla movies along the years, and sure, they've been fun movies, but not a single one of them made me feel invested in the well-being of the characters. Like they were just fun action movies. There wasn't like an emotional aspect really. And the storyline behind the human characters in this adventure is touching, emotional, and deeply moving. I found myself caring about them, about what happened to them. I've never felt this in the other Godzilla movies. The acting, so here's the other Godzilla movies, like a couple examples of ones that are, they're just action. Right. There's no like even King of the Monsters with Millie Bobby Brown, and people love Millie Bobby Brown, but I never felt like I was emotionally invested in them. But the acting by and so here's some of the characters from the movie. No big spoiler thing. It's just some people meeting each other. Okay. The acting by Ryunosuke Kamiki and Minami Hamabe was beyond anything I could have hoped for or expected. They were amazing. Ryunosuke, Ryunosuke, I'm trying to say it right. It's someone who hasn't been in a ton of stuff from what I saw on IMDb, but he was phenomenal, and so was Minami. They're two main characters, and those are like every character that they come across too. Like you just care. And the stories of their characters and the ones that they come across are all people you come to care about, and their acting was so real, and the moments of raw emotion like felt tangible. Like you felt their emotion and you felt empathy. Like you felt bad for them. Like you really just wish you could have made things better, even though you're just a viewer of watching a story. And the VFX were stunning and have wonderfully haunted me to this day. I was so mesmerized and terrified at the same time. Okay, the special effects were done by the director, but the special effects supervisor was the writer and director. And this filmmaker put so much love and feeling into this picture, and he touched so many areas. And the following image, which you've seen, is one that I feel will never leave my memory. That is scary. Like when I watched that scene, if you ever watch it and you see, I was terrified, not just like of the image, but for the people he's pursuing. That is scary. Like is his eyes, even and when you see it in a huge theater too, or like a big TV, those eyes are like a really pissed off cat or dog. coming at you. That's like a million times the size. This is why I need to watch these movies as they were made. Yeah, they're so good.
Mhm.
And for me, I don't like watching movies dubbed because my brain has a disconnect of emotion between not seeing the voice match the person. That's
Mhm.
just so I prefer subbed if it's in a different language. But this image will always like wonderfully haunt me. So and the way they have Godzilla move and walk on dry land is like an obvious homage to the original Godzilla with like a human in a suit. Kind of, you know how they're big because he's huge, right?
Yeah.
He's gonna move slow in on Earth walking. He's made for the water, basically. And so so gone are those days of people in suits most of the time. Especially for something like this gigantic. They usually just do VFX, but the VFX was just done so well. It's when you have a writer and director, especially the director, who's involved in VFX, they can think VFX involves a good amount of planning for it to look good, and he knows how it needs to go. So the marriage for that was like, gosh, just him. So there's no marriage there. But the fact that it works so well when a director knows. So I feel like almost every director should go, and this is just me thinking, every director should go through some kind of VFX training so they understand what they're going to have to do, so that what they do on set matches. And that's exactly what he did. He knew what he wanted and how it needed to be done. And so he was able to make that happen. And it works so well. So do yourself a favor and go see this dang movie because it's so freaking good. Yeah, go see Godzilla -1. And there's a reason I think it's called -1. It may not be obvious from the title. I thought it may be like something revealed in the movie, or like specific of why it's called -1, but I think you'll understand when you see it.
Oh.
That's it.
Thank you.
That is
Mezzo.
Mezzo's Musings.
Awesome. Like I said, I am a huge Godzilla fan. I love the cheesy originals as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they were cheesy like necessarily when they came out. Like no one thought of the original Godzilla as cheesy until many years later when technology advanced, and then it felt cheesy. Right. This is, I feel like, will never feel cheesy, especially the emotional part of it. I mean, just the fact that it's just a good, even it's my husband compared it to a beautiful emotion human story with a monster in it. Like the VFX and the monster are a huge part in the story, but like the human aspect is so much more relatable, and you just feel so much more for them that it's just like, it just made that movie so much better. Godzilla is so much better.
Did you ever see the Anne Hathaway monster movie where she controls the giant kaiju with Jason Sudeikis?
No. What movie is that? Now you have to look it up.
I do have to look it up.
The only movie I've ever seen of like a human controlling something giant was
Pacific Rim.
I can't. Yes, thank you. I was going to start with a P. That's all I could remember.
So you need to watch this movie, which I can't think of what it is. I have to look it up. Colossal.
Okay, no, I've not. Is it good?
It's fantastic.
Okay, I'll have.
It's fantastic.
What's it on? I can like make a note. Go watch it later.
Amazon, Hulu.
Oh, okay, I have Prime Video, so
yeah. So go watch Colossal because the premise of Godzilla -1 reminds me a lot about that. Just because it is a human thing about monsters.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't want to spoil. There's a huge twist to it, but you need to watch it. It's fantastic.
Okay.
So I mean, how do you think Godzilla -1? How do you think Godzilla -1 compares to then the American Godzilla movies?
Okay. So the American Godzilla movies are just action, you know? And a lot of Godzilla this is just from my perspective. I'm not saying this is actually how it is for them. For people of Japan, a horror movie, because it is a scary monster on their town in Tokyo and stuff.
Right.
And this takes that horror aspect, because I was terrified in the scenes with Godzilla, but puts the human story in there. And I feel like the writer just really touched well with that. The writers of the American ones, it was never focused on any kind of emotion and action.
Right.
This one had action in it for sure, but a lot of it was emotion censored, and that's why censored, emotion centered is what I meant. That's why my husband described it as a beautiful human emotional story with a monster in it, because the monster is not necessarily the main focus. He is the main reason events are happening that happen to these people. And he's like the background running focus of the movie, but the story of the characters is what's really the focus. And I felt like that was never really the case in all the American ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it was just, oh gosh, it was so freaking well done. Go see it.
Yes.
I can't say it enough. Go see Godzilla -1. Please watch it now, because if you watch it now, it's going to be subtitled. I feel like dubbed is not going to have the same kind of raw emotion that they had.
Mm-hmm.
No offense to the voiceovers actors who do dubbed. It's just my brain disconnect. So
Right.
if you don't have that disconnect, fine. Go see it dubbed, whatever. But if you want to see it now in theaters, you have to see it subbed.
Yeah. And I think to your point of that, I think dubbed loses the translation. It loses that element of it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll use the same exact translation as the captions per se, because there is a lot of English is so difficult for those who have learned English as a second language, because we have so much slang and different ways to say one thing, where a lot of other languages say it one way.
Right.
And so I don't know when it comes to translation, how when people translate from like Japanese into English, and it's one thing in Japanese, but it can mean like 5 things in English. You can say it 5 different ways. How did they decide which way to say it? Will it be the same as the written caption as it is when they do the dubbing? Which I hope. I mean, I feel like there would be a really weird discernment. One word could actually kind of be really different feeling in English. Sorry for those who have to learn English not as a first language, because it is rough. You have the words rough and cough that look the same, but they're pronounced differently. Like, or cow and bow, or comb and bomb. Like, all of those are stupid words. Stupid, like, rules, whatever. There's not even rules. You just have to remember how it's said. Yeah, you do lose so much of the context and syntax of the emotion, as Aubrey said. Train Busan, or Train to Busan.
Train to Busan. Yeah, it's a zombie.
Which John Michaels was in, I think, the sequel. John D. Michaels. Love you, John.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's Mezzo's musings for you.
Thank you, Mezzo. Well, that wraps up today's episode. But
yes.
But let's give her plug those. Mezzo, where can people?
Oh gosh. Hi, I'm Mezzo. You can find me on YouTube, Mezzo JD. I am currently doing what uploads I can, so bear with me as I make it part of more of my schedule. But I am currently playing Sherlock Holmes: The Devil's Daughter on my channel. So I have 2 episodes up that if you want to go check it out. Then there's a couple shorts. There are parts. Well, the second short is actually a blooper from the second episode, which makes me laugh because when I watched it later, I laughed at it and I was like, sure, why not? But so you can find me on there. You can find me on Twitter and Twitter, X, and Instagram. Also, just Mezzo JD. I'm Mezzo JD on everything. I'm on TikTok as well. I guess that's it. I'm on here. I'm on KCP. You'll see me tomorrow night. What about you, sir?
Me, I'm Graveyard. You can find me here at Kyber Cave Productions 2 to 3 days a week with new shows coming out, new content, new exciting things coming out, especially the VR side of things. On top of that, I am the co-host of the Mostly Pod Out at Night, Mostly Podcasts. New episodes released on CommonConRadio.com every Wednesday. You can find some of my horror writings in Spoiler Magazine. You can find me on Thursdays on The Build over at Distance Nerding. interviewing awesome people. You can find me on social media at Pod Out at Night. Make sure to check us out. Check out our YouTube channel where we interview people in the horror community called Conversations in the Void. It is an amazing show. I am meeting awesome people. I love it to no end. And if you want to see me and some movies I worked on, go to check out the Kings of Horror, where we had the premiere of Split Screen last night, only on YouTube. Make sure to check that out. Give them the Horror Dad support. They are friends of myself.
I watched most of it before I had to leave.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Van.
Hey, Van. So, yeah, I'll make sure to check it out. And, for every 100 subscribers we get on this channel, we give away a free lightsaber. So make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Let us know. Share this out. The more subscribers you get, the more chances you have to win a lightsaber. And make sure to also check out our Patreons for just as little $1 a month. You can help support us and our channel. And you can enter to get free swag, especially on May 4th with a free lightsaber.
Be with you.
Yes. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mezzo. Thank you, Aubrey and Van in the chat. And we'll see you tomorrow night for Saber Rattle. Bye.
See you then. Bye.